Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the webinar. So in today's webinar, we are going to share with you a connected workflow for project management by leveraging our latest and greatest products, which is called Autodesk Construction Cloud. A little bit about myself. My name is Yinglong, and then I will be a host for today's webinar. And today we are going to focus on our tools and then what are the use cases we are going to use these tools in the following slides. All right, so before we kick off the feature introduction, I just want to give a very brief introduction on why and what is the common data environment. So back then, maybe in the 1990s, everybody just was known the technology, and we may have a computer at home. At that time, we think the computer is a very powerful technology, which can help us to replace the pen and paper. You don't have to write anything on a pen and paper. You can actually use the Word document, or even use the PowerPoint like we are doing right now. And back then, the communication is really a challenging part. So you can use the powerful machine, the computer, to produce certain information. But if you want to share those information to others, that's really the difficult part. So the conventional way how we do it is usually, I'm not sure how many of you have seen this 3.5-inch floppy disk, but we have to use this one to burn the information in it and then to make several copies and send to others. So once that you have the technology can really replace your current workflow, but when it comes to communication is really cumbersome. So when it comes to the construction industry, and especially when you have more complicated deliverables, such as BIM models, heavy drawings, and the communication is even trickier. So over here, like if the AE, the designer, they have some deliverables they want to share to the rest of the parties, and then they have to send it using the conventional way. And just imagine that if all those parties receive this information and they have to reply your information, the communication can be super intricate. And that will lead to the consequences where sometimes you just pass the wrong info, or if you have the latest version, you never pass across to the other interfacing parties, and they will always accusing you, says that, hey, I never received the latest copy, and where is the latest copy for me to construct on site? So the problem of doing this so in the current industry is that you may have the technology in vertical, but the lack of horizontal connection is the problem we're trying to solve. All right, so the same challenges come to the site uses, right? We may have some documents saved on a computer, like drawings, schedules, checklists, and BIM models. So all this good information saved on a computer, every time you want to bring those information down to site, you have to print it out and then to bring it. And the BIM model, there's no way for you to print it out. So the only way you can see the BIM model is only that when you come back to the office and then you fix on certain viewpoint and you print out those viewpoint and bring to site. So that is really another cumbersome workflow when doing the site supervision, doing the site activities, given that all this digital copy has to be printed out and then to bring the hard copy down to site. So in the modern world, the city is really play a very important role in the entire workflow, because this is a good illustration I like the most. Like in the modern construction, we have so many different deliverables, and if we still use conventional workflow to carry those deliverables, it's really not so effective and efficient. So we have to reinvent the wheel, and then to use the city to help you easily carry out these deliverables, and then to give you a most efficient way of doing the communication. Right, so in today's webinar, I'm just cover some of the main function of what we have for the platform and for the product called Autodesk Build. So Autodesk Build is ready to help you to connect different workflows, as well as that how do we bring those digital copy of the files to site. And the first part I'm going to cover is actually on the user manage. So being a CDE, we have to bring all the team members onto one common platform so that they can timely access all the latest and greatest info. And then you don't have to share this one separately to others, because once you give the permission to the respective parties, and they are able to come in and view the files directly. So to add members is really easy on our platform. You can actually just type in their email address and then to give the permission levels and assign the right companies and right roles. You can even base on the roles and company to set the permission accordingly. So once you come, so this is the illustration where you can set up the permission level based on roles and based on companies, and even you can set up the folder level permission. So we can create as many folders as possible. And when it comes to the permission level, you can detect it based on their roles, their job functions, what are the right permissions we want to assign them to, so that we can safeguard all the sensitive and confidential info saved in certain particular folder. Right? And being a centralized repository, the other good function we have over here is the version control. So, you know, the version control is really the pain currently in the industry. That I'm not sure that whether am I using the latest version. So the system over here can collect and consolidate different versions into one document. And I also give you the abilities to do a comparison easily using the solution. So the comparison can give you a different color to tell you that, hey, what are the changes like between the current version with your previous version? And the comparison not only is restricted to the 2D deliverables, but also you can do it on the 3D deliverables. We have the BIM viewer. You can open up the BIM models directly, and then you can also do a comparison using the same button as the 2D. So by clicking this one, the system will tell you that, hey, this is the differences between the previous one with the current one. They even will use the different color representation to show you that, hey, what is the additional items, what is the removed item, and what other elements has been modified. And the best case is that all those deliverable, all these differences can be downloaded into a Excel. When you click on these download buttons, you basically can export all those changed, modified elements into an Excel, and then you can summarize all the changes across the time. Okay, you know, sharing information sometimes is not good enough. Review workflow is actually quite crucial when it comes to the document review, when it comes to the execution. So we want to make sure that all the submittal has been approved before we do any construction on site. So in our systems, we are able to configure a very flexible review workflow. You can detect that how many steps you want to do it, and whether you want to have a sequential review or a parallel review. And you can even configure the status of the review status. And you just need to configure this review workflow for one time, and it can always recycle throughout the whole project lifecycle. So as a reviewer, we are able to receive the notification from an email to give us a hyperlink, and I'm able to open up the files directly and make my comments. So then I will give my approval status, and the system will document all this approval status accordingly. Information retrieval is also another key in the process. Once you save a lot of hundreds of models and drawings into one common platform, how's the best way to find those information? You know, one way is definitely you can go through the folder structure and find the relevant files, but we normally don't want to do it because, you know, sometimes I just lost track on which folder I saved this file to. So over here in the video illustration, it shows you we support this smart search. So they can use the latest technology called OCR, optical character recognition, to scan the documents and then to go into your PDF files and try to grab the data. So as you can see here, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go through the folder structure. I just need to key in the keyword, and then we are able to find the documents accordingly. So we also have the other ways to manage your system or manage your files, which is complying to the ISO requirement. We can set up the naming convention for according to the ISO easily on the platform, and where they can use this naming convention as a gateway to try to help you validate those files has been uploaded to the platform. So over here, if any non-compliance, the system will stop uploading and then to prompt the user says that there's non-conformance because of doesn't comply to the naming standard. And then everyone can actually amend the naming standard and also use different view to, sorry, the last part is use the different view to filter the information you want. So you can base on the projects, originators, system level, and so on. So we do have many flexible ways to retrieve the information easily from the platform. Okay. And this is the part I think the industry is pretty familiar, that we have this design collaboration and model coordination. It's worth mentioning that this part is actually not within the Autodesk build package, but it's also good to share with the audience. Right now, you can share all the BIM information, drawing information, and package them up into one package and share within a one click. So once you share those information, the receivers will actually receive a notification, and they are able to use the version comparison functions to compare what are the differences. And they're also able to run a clash detection directly on the platform. So the part of new is that the new part is that once you finish running the clash detection, as we do here, we have the latest technology, which is called issue plugin. So whatever issue has been found during this process, it can be synchronized back to the Revit files directly. So over here, you just need to click on the issues, and we are able to navigate to the location of issues, and the modelers is able to grab those information immediately, and then they are able to change it and update it. Everything is in dynamic, and then you can actually synchronize back to the centralized platform. Okay. So we know we have tons of meeting minutes throughout the whole project life cycles, and then prepare the meeting minutes is definitely a pain. I still remember in my early days, when I work in a MRT projects, and then I have to every time copy paste those drawings into the meeting minutes. And also, if we use BIM, we have to copy those BIM viewpoint into the meeting minutes to illustrate the idea. But in here, we unleash a new possible way of managing meeting minutes. So we are able to centralize manage all the agendas online, and we also have a collaboration with Zoom or Microsoft Teams. So we are able to link the BIM models and 2D drawings into the meeting minutes directly. So during the meetings, like say, I have a part I want to discuss with my interfacing parties. So what I can do is that I'm able to drop myself into a 3D environment, and then I'm able to navigate myself in this environment, and then to place any issues we found on the BIM models directly. And after that, we can link the issue back to the meeting minutes so that we can centralize manage all the discussion involved during the meeting. And to manage these meeting minutes is not only on the web browser. Whatever the consensus reached on the meetings or agreement reached on the meetings, we're able to capture on the mobile application. So on site, if you want to flick back to the certain meetings and then try to find the agreement, and we are able to do so. So one of the biggest part is that how do we bring those information down to site? Like say we have checklists, and usually we'll do it in the hard copy. We have to print it out and then to bring to site and to do the supervision works. But in our systems, we are able to digitize your checklist. The first way of digitizing it is using the native file format. And the second way of doing that is that we can grab your PDF directly into our platform, and then we are able to make it like a fillable PDF. So here you are able to digitize your checklist, and also you can maintain the same format as you used before. So once you have digitized all the checklists, you are able to synchronize those checklists to the mobile application, and we are able to find those information like we can link the area, we can link the markup with the checklist. So you can from the markup on the 2D drawings and then to go to the checklist directly. And from here, you can just key in whatever data is necessary for the checklist. And the other way doing the BIM to field or the field management is that we are able to publish all the sheets saved in the Revit models into the field by one click. So you just need to select the BIM models and click publish. and they are able to extract all the sheets from the BIM models and produce into a individual drawings. And these drawings will be synchronized to a mobile application as well. So you don't have to worry about the naming convention of those drawings because they can quickly scan through the title block of each and every drawings and then to generate the sheet numbers and sheets view directly. And more importantly is that if you feel the location of extraction is not accurate enough, what you can do is that you can box select all the drawings and then you can redefine the area you want to extract from. So once you have redefined the area, not only they can read the English, and if you have any title block written in the Chinese, like traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, they are able to read different language from your title block as well. Okay. So here, this one is a quick overview of a mobile application. On the mobile application, we are able to see what the outstanding works has been assigned to me and what the outstanding works has been assigned to the whole team. And also we can use the smart search. Remember that just now we mentioned about the smart search. You can use the same function on the mobile application as well. And also we are able to create different kind of filters to manage the drawings based on different traits and different criteria. We can all do so. The other good thing of using the OCR technology is that it can build a hyperlink between your plan views and sectional view. So you can go to your section view by directly click all those hyperlinks. And we can also do a comparison directly on the mobile application. And if you realize certain things go wrong, you can just take a snapshot and then send to others directly. For other files like supporting documents, standard details, cut sheets, all this you can synchronize with your mobile application and also can bring the BIM models down to site. And just now, I think we already touched on the forms. We are able to view the forms and then manage the issues and also manage the defects directly on the mobile application. So like say, if you realize that certain things go wrong with this area, and then you can create multiple different type of issues and select the right type of issues, then place on the location of the issues, and also you can assign this issue to someone else. So on the mobile application, we also have asset registration function. So from asset registration, you are able to digitize your assets and place a barcode on the assets. We are able to scan all the barcode or QR code to find the location of the assets. And we're also able to link all the photos, checklists, issues with the asset accordingly. So the RFI, you don't have to manage RFI in the conventional RFI forms. Now you can actually use our application to manage your RFI and submittals. And we are able to close the RFI directly on the mobile application. Like say, if there's RFI raised to you, and then there's a link for you to find this RFI, you can open up the RFI, see the set conditions, see the location of the RFI, and then reply directly from the mobile. Then photo management is also very important because we would probably take thousands of photos every day. So you can upload the photos directly on the mobile application, and you don't have to, separately manually link the photos back to your computer and manage them. So just now we also mentioned the meeting minutes can be hosted on a mobile, and then you can see it right away. And this is another use cases we have used that. So we can actually put our mobile application side by side with your camera, where you can actually see the set conditions, and also you can navigate yourself to the forms you want to fill out. So from here, you're able to see, hey, what are things, and then if you actually find any non-conformance issues, you can just take the photos and upload it to here directly. And also for BIM navigations, we also have a new way of doing the BIM navigation. So when it comes to BIM navigation, you are able to use the 2D and 3D in concurrent. So you can basically move around the viewpoints on the 3D and turn on the walkthrough mode. So then the BIM model is actually moving along with your camera. So as just imagine that when we come to site, if you want to do a comparison between the BIM model with your site conditions, you can actually use these functions to do a comparison directly. All right, so just now we also talked about the commissioning part, which is the asset management. The setup of the site management is also quite easy on the platform. You can just key in all those location IDs or asset names on the asset management, and then we are able to spot it on the mobile application to manage it and then to see all the supporting document accordingly. Okay, so when it comes to the digital cutover, we have a way to export all the good functions and good information from the platform. So we do have this as view export, where you can export all the drawings, the RFI submittals, save on the platform, and then to zip it into a zip files, and then you can successfully hand over to your operator. So the last part I want to talk about is the dashboard. As you can see that just now we have a lot of good functions. We can collect information from the site and from anywhere during the projects. So when you come back to the office, what you want to do is that you want to aggregate those information and analyze the information to make sure all this data makes sense to me and my higher management. So in here, we do have many options to give you the dashboard, and then also to help you to analyze that according to the different business units, according to the different category of issues, and then you can even filter out that what are the critical issues and what are the high risk issues to us. And more importantly is that we leverage on this machine learning technology, where it can help us to analyze all this data in a very effective manner. So what it does is that it can rate the text from your description. Like say, if I write down there's a near miss case or there's a fall from high, they're able to pick it up and then to say that, hey, this one looks like a high risk issues, and it's definitely worth to highlight this one to the management. So in here, the system will try to keep learning that what the high risk issues are and what the low risk issues are, and they are able to automatically categorize it for us. And if you realize that, hey, certain things is not defined properly, and then you can actually go in here and then teach the system that, hey, the risk level is actually medium instead of low, and then you can actually next time to capture this information and then to categorize it into a medium category. So reporting part, we are able to generate all kinds of report, RFI report, issue report, weekly report, and also you can schedule your report and automatically sign to the respective parties in Cadence. So from here, you can choose that who is the project member you want to share, and you can also put in your message, and then the system will automatically send this report to others. And when it comes to the last part is that we want to collaborate with other systems as well. So the most effective way to grab all the critical data from our platform is that we have these data connector functions that can cater for these use cases. So when you extract data connectors, we are able to extract all the critical data and save in the CSV, and those information can be plugged into some BI tools and then to configure and customize your own dashboard. And then dashboard can be brought back to our insight our dashboarding system directly. And then for your management, we can actually view and visualize all this dashboard right off the bat. So that's all the functions we have. And then the one last part I want to mention over here is that a lot of people think, hey, sometimes we don't have the online training materials, and it's really, give me the system, I also don't know how to use it. But for our case, we actually have a lot of online materials available. So from this part, they can actually teach you step by step how to use the system. And also we have all those free webinars where you can go in and free subscribe those webinars, and they will give you the video guidance step by step and how to do it. And if you realize that certain things go wrong with the systems, you want to have a 24/7 support, you also can just come to here and type your question, and our backend support team will reach out to you within a day time of maybe just a couple of hours, and then they can always give you the solution right away. Okay, so that's all we have for today, and we'll come your question, if any. If not, thank you so much for your time, and hope you have a great day and week ahead. Thank you.